Hey, normally we start off with like the game and shit, but yo, first things first, bro. I don't have no hat over here, but like I need the hat to come down like the flying Nimbus right quick, cause Smurder is free, bro.
Yeah,
I ain't trying to be funny. I need the hat to come down like a goddamn power pole. Like, yo, Bobby Smurder's free after 6 years in prison, bro.
This Carson Wentz is free after 6 years in prison.
Jesus, see, hey, listen, bro, that's just some ignorant.
Look at the smile on my man's face when he was free. When he finally came home. Look at my man's face.
Bro, he's not even gonna wear number 11 though.
I know.
He's not even gonna wear number 11. That's the
said,
you know what?
Said no, sir.
But you see, I don't get why they're making the big deal about the number thing. I mean, I guess because Tom Brady and Chris Godwin did it last year. I mean, Tom Brady is synonymous with number 12. Carson Wentz wore like what, number 2 at North Dakota State or something like that. Or
didn't he wear number 11?
At North Dakota State, I don't know. I would have to do some research
I thought he wore number 11.
I mean, I can look it up right quick, but I just said I don't know. I thought it was like number 2. I'm guessing. My bad. I'm sorry, G. Don't beat me up. Yeah, he wore number 11. You're right. I didn't know that though. I actually did not know that. So
that's my favorite quarterback. So yeah.
I respect it, bro. I maybe I'm thinking about Trey Lance instead, bro. I really do apologize for that. I think a new number would give him a fresh start, though. I don't.
He probably wear number. He probably go back to number 2 whole time. I mean, number 2 whole time, not go back.
Well, I guess since we're here or left, if you know off the top of your head, does anybody wear number 1 for the Colts?
They might have retired it with McAfee. I don't know.
I'm about to say, when they try kicker?
Yeah, I don't know who wears number 1 now. I think Rodrigo wears number 1.
Yeah, because McAfee did wear number 1. You were absolutely right. Retired numbers. Retired numbers. Let's see.
I wouldn't even want him at number 1 anyway.
Number 1 is not retired. I mean, it is definitely ugly. I agree with you. Number 1 is currently not in use and it's not retired. So looking at the numbers available for quarterback for the Colts, you have 1, 2, 4, 5, 6.
Like 5.
7 is out there because Jacoby's a free agent still. 10 is available. 13 is available. 13.
It's crazy that 12 14, is not available because Andrew Luck hasn't.
Give him number 18. Fuck Peyton.
Wow, that disrespect. This man going to the Hall of Fame, G. Why are you choosing violence right now, bro?
Don't worry about it. He's upset.
Damn, Meek Mill, you chose violence today. Okay.
For 9 more years. Don't worry about it. He's going to be suffering.
Hey, left,
this nigga chose violence, man.
He's going to be salty like this for a while.
Oh, 14 is not available. I apologize. 14, 13 are not available yet, obviously, because, T.Y. Hilton and Zach Pascal. But they may not come back. So that depends. But he doesn't have that many options as far as numbers. I think he's going to go single digits, obviously.
I'm going number 5.
11, 12, 15, 16 are all taken by receivers. 3 and 8 are taken by special teamers, and 9 is still taken by Jacob Eason. So he can't take 18, obviously. He can't take 19. Yeah, so he's limited to what he can do.
Number 5. Let's go with number 5.
Yeah, I would think 5 is a good number. I wouldn't be mad about that. Let's see what happens for him, though. And we got to highlight Luff, man, because a couple episodes ago, I think we talked about this, and you were the one that said a 3rd round pick. I'm gonna find a way to edit this shit one day to where I can just make a psychic noise behind it. And anytime Lev says a gem, we gonna return to the shit and just play that sound because he said the thing about being with the contract. He said the thing about Carson with the pick is crazy. Credit
the shit with Ben. It's funny. I was listening to a lot of different outlets, and they were saying that because of Ben's service, they should pay him that 41. They should give him that extra year. But for what? Why? You did what you had to do. You did your job. You got paid to do your job. Why should I pay you $41 million for us to go 4-12 for what? Just because you've been here this long? Like, no.
Yeah, and they have a lot of problems to fix on the offense right now. To mildly speak on free agency, something we'll touch on next week. Juju's a free agent. You just lost your center. You have to consider cutting down on paying your offensive lineman and your defensive lineman. Cam Hayward just took a pay cut. There's obviously rumors of J.J. Watt wanting to team up with his brothers. So it'll be very interesting for Pittsburgh. And to say the last thing about the NFL, for me at least, before I see if y'all got anything y'all want to say about the NFL, today opens the franchise tag window up until March 9th. So teams can now start negotiating or placing franchise tags on teams. And I found it very interesting that there's a thing that people don't know about the franchise tag. There are actually 3 types of franchise tag. One is the non-exclusive tag, which is the one that is usually called the franchise tag. There is the exclusive one, the one that Dak Prescott had got and why he got so much money. And then there is the tender version that basically is restricted free agency, like the NBA, where the team can match your offer no matter what. But they won't lose or gain anything if they don't match the offer. But like I said, I'll leave that for next week. Do y'all got anything else y'all want to cover in the NFL before we move on?
One thing I do want to address, what y'all think about this Dak Prescott situation? Y'all think Dallas what y'all think they're gonna do? Y'all think they're gonna tag him or they're just gonna let him walk if he get a better deal?
I mean, they say they hope to get him signed by the 9th. They claim they hope to get him signed by the 9th. I honestly don't see it because at this point, you're gonna have to pay him more now.
Yeah.
You see how valuable he is to your team. You've seen what y'all went through for a whole season without paying him. Now you got to pay him, and now you're gonna want more. And you got no choice but to pay that.
I would agree on that because, and looking at those types of tags, the non-exclusive tag, which is the franchise tag, it is the average salary of the top 5 players at the position or 120% of your previous salary, whichever is the greater number. So I think only one quarterback got a deal last year. I think that was Aaron Rodgers. Because I think Brady might be a top 5 quarterback as far as salary is concerned. Because it was like, what, $23 million for 2 years? So $23 million each year to go to Tampa Bay?
Brady top 5 for $1,000. You don't really get that much.
Well, no. Okay, so, it goes off just the base salary, not the entire number for the year. It only goes off the salary, not the signing bonus.
Oh, the whole. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to just do this really quick and, make it easier. The top 5 quarterback contracts. The top 5, and you're correct, he's not. He would be if you don't consider the franchise tag of Dak Prescott. And you can't consider Phillip Rivers because he's retired now. The top 5 quarterback numbers last season, Dak Prescott was the highest paid quarterback at $31.4 million. Russell Wilson was second with 31. Jared Goff was third with 28.8. Jimmy Garoppolo was fourth with 26.6. And Rivers and Brady both are tied at 5 for $25 million.
What is Matt Ryan making?
Matt Ryan is only making $18 million in base salary. But his contract was, I believe, 5 years for $130 million. But it was loaded onto the signing bonus and back end. So the back end cap number, which is where we're at now in the last 2 years of the deal, are higher because of the cap hit. So he's able to, like all quarterbacks, you can rework the number as it gets later to open up more cash flow and open up more cap space. The same way Drew Brees was making $23.6 million, but now he's put all that into his signing bonus. And he's only making I think $1 million base salary right now. And that's why the Saints have all that cap space. So
yeah, he just trying to win.
He's going to retire, so it's going to get run off the books anyway. But
I'm just trying to figure out why y'all still constricted on cap if he not really getting paid that much.
So the Falcons cap issue, if you look at it for an entire team perspective, right here, we have 39 players under contract. We have 5 players making over $13 million in just base salary. That being Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, who are the top 2, with both of them making over $15 million. Grady Jarrett got his extension, is making $13.5 million. Jake Matthews, when he got his extension, I still don't understand why he's making this much as a non-premier left tackle, making $13 million. And then Dante Fowler got that 3-year, $56 million contract. So, you know,
that was brought in. That wasn't signed by y'all. That was brought in by y'all.
Yeah, no, but we signed him.
No,
that was a free agency signing last year. Like we gave him $56 million for 3 years, so that's roughly $20 million a year, damn year. You know, so and it's only going into year 2. So those are some deals you kind of can rework potentially, especially with Matt and Julio. But you remember Julio fought for more money 2 years ago, and that was part of that deal. So Matt Ryan's base salary is $23 million, but his bonus is 17.9. So he already got his cap number is 40 million. If you cut him, you're taking on 49 million in dead money, and you're not saving 9 million. You're losing 9 million. So you can't get rid of Matt Ryan. You can't get rid of Julio. You can get rid of anybody else basically, except like the rookies. That's the problem.
But do y'all want to get rid of Julio and Matt Ryan? I mean, what's going on?
Truthfully, I would say after this year, that's an option. You know, the rumors are all hype right now that Zach Wilson will go before Justin Fields. And it's obvious that we know Miami's not taking a quarterback at 3. So the primary issue with Atlanta being at 4 is, do you take Justin Fields if he drops to 4? Or do you trade down and out of that position if Fields is gone at 2? You know, I don't think Atlanta has fallen in love with Zach Wilson. I think they're more in love with Justin Fields than anything at this current time. So if we don't have Fields, I did see a mock draft that said the Chargers would trade up to get Penny Sewell to protect Justin Herbert because the Chargers have O-line issues, which are obviously why Phillip Rivers kept getting hurt and left. And I think the Chargers do need to protect their quarterback. So we have a lot of trade scenarios right now. It's very interesting.
You have all our issues as well. So why don't y'all draft one?
So, you know, new regime, and Matt was 2 regimes ago. And, you know, he is getting up there in age, and you have to, this is one of those weird drafts where you have to think about taking a successor now rather than later. Fontenot got a 5-year deal, like most GMs. Arthur Smith, I think, got a 5-year deal too. So if you're able to get a young rookie quarterback who, how old is Fields, like 21, 22, maybe?
I don't like him. I'm not sold on him, though. I'm not sold on any Ohio State.
I'm not either. I'm not either. That's what I'm saying. Like, Matt
I'm
Ryan
glad
was never the problem.
Thank y'all for
Matt
being.
Ryan was never the problem.
Bro, thank y'all. I
Ryan
don't get why the Falcons.
He
I don't
made
get why
bad
Falcons fans
plays
do
like
that,
any
man.
other quarterback. No bullshit.
Yeah, he made a few bad decisions, absolutely, but he was never the problem. You don't have a healthy Julio. Your line has been dismal at best, and the defense shows up when they feel like showing up. So it's not.
And the play calling is terrible. My only knock on Matt Ryan, and which it has been forever, is he isn't a field general like he should be. The play calling is terrible, and he'll make a couple audibles there now and then, but he doesn't really adjust the game to his liking. It's like he just goes with whatever the coach says. That's my only knock on him. He'll ball it, but that's my only problem with him is he doesn't control the game.
He's a better Phillip Rivers. That is exactly, because Phillip Rivers is the same way. It's just that once you're so stuck in your ways, nothing else matters. That's exactly how Phillip Rivers was.
The thing with Phillip Rivers is Phillip Rivers every season had a moment where he had a meltdown, where he just 3-4 picks in a game, fumbling the ball. Like, he just has the meltdown of the year. But the thing with Matt Ryan, for me, is like, I will always blame the play call with Matt Ryan, because at the end of the day, Julio Jones was what Devontae Adams is now. And that sentence shouldn't even happen. It shouldn't be was. Like, Julio Jones is still a top 3 receiver. But because of the play calling, he was average at best. He had highlight plays here and there, but he was never as involved in the offense as he was before, where he became Julio.
And once he got hurt, he had to become a coach. So it definitely hurts when you have your arguably best player on the team hurt and injured year after year after year. And he's only able to coach those young receivers. And, you know, we see all the film, we see all the Instagram highlights of him becoming that coach, helping Russell Gage get better, helping Olamide Zaccheaus get better. And, you know, I think we found our 3 receiver set now. And we also traded for Hayden Hurst with letting Austin Hooper walk. Now that I look back on this year, I'm not mad we let Austin Hooper walk for all that money to Cleveland because it helped Cleveland obviously open up their playbook and their play call for Baker Mayfield, but it gave Matt Ryan less of a security blanket than Hayden Hurst to open up to, but it opened up Calvin Ridley a lot. So I'm happy with that. But I think the ultimate problem that I was saying for the last 2 years before he was fired, Dimitrov wasn't putting coaches or the team in the position to win after that Super Bowl. After that Super Bowl, you signed Alex Mack that year. That helped the offensive line get to the bowl. I'm all for that.
Fire right there.
But
letting
Alex
Kyle
Mack is now a free agent.
Was your biggest mistake, letting Kyle walk.
Yes, agreed. And it's one thing I will say, and this is why I kind of want to transition to the next point. And this is really, it's kind of NFL related, but it's not. I give all the credit to Bill Belichick for setting a 20-year system to a point where even if an assistant leaves that man, they come back. That man, the Patriot way is something that is just unexplainable unless you've played there or unless you've been in that system. Josh McDaniels left to go become a head coach in Denver. As soon as Denver fired his ass, where did he go? Back to New England. Matt Patricia got fired from the Detroit Lions. Where did he go?
Back to Daddy. Yeah, of course.
And it's funny because McDaniels was supposed to be the Indianapolis Colts head coach. I ain't gonna say we. I was one of those few people that was excited to see Andrew Luck and Josh McDaniels because Andrew Luck was already great. And you're gonna give him Josh McDaniels? I'm with that smoke. And then McDaniel says, nah, fuck that shit. Like Robert Kraft promised him something that we don't know. Yeah, like he promised him something about Bill Belichick in the next 5 to 10 years. And McDaniels bought in. And he said, you know what? Why would I go make Peyton Manning team great? I'm a Tom Brady guy. I'm making the Patriots great. I was like, oh shit, okay. And then, Luck retired before what was it, last season? This season? I mean, last season when it was the season before. So that was really crazy to me, man. But speaking on the whole Patriot way thing, man, Lef, I know you was listening to that pod. G, I don't know if you listened all the way through, watched it yet. But I Am Athlete pod, man, that episode with Cam Newton was crazy.
Amazing. Fucking amazing.
I
like the way he flirted. He flirted with wanting to trash talk the Patriots, but he kept it PC to a point. But he dogged Carolina. And it was within his right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can't really speak on it because I ain't seen it, but I would have too. Like, they damn dirty, man.
Yeah, and I mean,
they said they was intimidated by him. They was intimidated by him.
He said, not only as an African-American male, but as an African-American quarterback and being the quarterback going into a new regime, people are intimidated by me. And that's when he mentioned, he had respect for the new regime coming in for allowing him to go through that process and for talking to him straight up and letting him know, you are not a part of our future plans and we're going to let you be free. I think Matt Rule and David Tepper deserve respect for that because they let him know straight up and they didn't bullshit around and dance around the topic. You know what? We're new here. We want to set our own goals. Even though Carolina kind of failed and they're a top 10 picking team this year, at least they were honest with their intentions. Unlike the Cardinals, when, Steve Keim is still the general manager and you hired Cliff Kingsbury after firing Todd Bowles. I think Todd Bowles was the head coach over there. I don't know.
It was Bruce.
Oh, yeah, Bruce left. Yeah, Bruce left, actually. Yeah, my fault. But you openly and honestly just let Cam know we're going to release you because you don't fit what we plan for the system as a 31-year-old quarterback. And Cam, the Instagram post, he said he took that shit personal. And he really did, man. Yeah, he took it personal. And then, to watch that podcast and see the kind of person Cam Newton is as a businessman and off the field, and then look at what happened this weekend with that young player whose name I still don't know, openly disrespect Cam at Cam's camp to enhance his abilities in 7-on-7 to help him get to the NFL. I have so much more respect for Cam Newton and Fred Taylor based on the stories that they told about Cam's time at the University of Florida and how he was coming up as a 19-year-old youngin in the college football game.
Is crazy.
Like I suggest to anybody listening, and I really think this is one of the things you really should listen to at any point this week. That I Am Athlete podcast with Cam Newton is probably the best episode thus far because it just gives you so much more insight. Hour and a half.
About an hour and a half, yeah.
It gives you so much more insight on what it means to be a part of that fraternity because Fred Taylor said it himself, he's a Jacksonville Jaguar legend. And he was a University of Florida guy. Like he was happy to teach those guys and bring them in and make them feel better and feel like family. So Fred Taylor had Cam Newton under his wing the whole time, whether Cam left or not. And he was just saying, like, they invited him to Fred Taylor house. Fred Taylor invited him, Deontay Thompson, and Aaron Hernandez, who they called Chico, and they talked about him a little bit in the pod. I ain't gonna spoil the rest of that. But they were talking about how Fred Taylor brought the jeweler to his crib instead of going to the jeweler. And Cam was looking around the crib and saying, yo, if this is what it takes to get this lifestyle, and I'm 19 looking at all this jewelry and the prices that I can't afford right now, if I take football serious, I can get this. He said it clicked in his head and his mindset shifted, and that's why he took it serious. That led him to get the Heisman. It led him to get that national championship at Auburn. It led him to become a number 1 overall draft pick. So hearing that story, and then seeing what happened over the weekend with that kid heckling him, it's just crazy to think like, yo, you heckled a legend in his own right, a making of a legend.
An icon. He's an icon.
You heckling this man who has the potential to take you under his wing as a mentee and help you as a 16, 17-year-old 6 years down the line be a draft pick in the first round potentially. You saying you got speed, okay. Speed don't always translate. John Ross will call your phone and tell you that. Speed don't translate. Rocket Ismail can tell you speed don't translate. You know what I'm saying?
John Brown can tell you that.
Yeah, like it just baffled me, bro. It just Tavon Austin can tell you that too. Like, anywho, but listening to that specific story and the stories they told about his time at the University of Florida definitely set a different light.
That roster was fucking elite.
Yeah, when you really think about it, though,
that's crazy.
That roster is crazy.
The names on that joint was crazy. Like,
when he broke down the 2 recruiting classes, I didn't even think about it that way until he broke it down, though. I wouldn't watch it again.
People don't give the respect to Percy Harvin as they should. Percy Harvin was a dog in college.
Bruh.
They claim him to be one of the greatest college athletes ever. Like
Percy Harvin is a Virginia Beach legend out here, man. Listen, legend.
Cam's story from him saying that he didn't want to compete to be number 2, so he went to JUCO for a year, dominated there, came back to Auburn, won a national championship, won a fucking Heisman, go first overall. Like that man's, and then his whole career he did it his way. He didn't succumb to this is how quarterbacks are supposed to act. This is how quarterbacks are supposed to do on the field. Like he did his thing. And he got to a Super Bowl doing it his way. I mean, it was an icon. It's an icon.
Nobody saying no words. Cam is an icon. His resume is crazy, by the way.
It's retarded. Rookie of the year. Like he's got every accolade except for ring.
National champion, MVP. Bro, his resume is stupid.
Yeah, very much so, bro.
Hall of Famer as soon as you get a championship. Hall of Famer.
Yeah. But for
you
what
can flirt with the first ballot right now.
Right now, bro. People have done worse things to get into the Hall of Fame.
But I'm saying like on a
Fred Taylor was saying that
first ballot.
Fred Taylor said that too.
Like, come on, Cam a Hall of Famer right now compared to these other dudes. No bull.
Right.
Bro, it's funny.
He's gonna follow the TO route as far as being a Hall of Famer. They're gonna give him all the outside antics and all the shit that was going on to deter him. To force him to be a couple of years before he becomes a Hall of Famer. He get a ring, you can't deny it. First ballot, you cannot deny him.
Bro, listen to these names.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Listen to these names on the 2 recruiting classes for Florida, bro. Just listen to the names. It is so crazy when you think about how many of these guys went to the NFL and did great shit. 2006, Percy Harvin, Marcus Gilbert, Brandon Spikes, Tim Tebow.
Brandon Spikes.
That's 2006. 2007, Ahmad Black, John Brantley, Carlos Dunlap, who's still in the league, Joe Hayden, who's still in the league, Aaron Hernandez, Cam Newton, Mike and Marquise Pouncey, Deontay Thompson, Florida legend, Major Wright, bro. What? That's
that 2008. The 2008 season, the roster on that field was dogs,
bro.
Dogs. With Urban Meyer, Dan Mullen as your coaching system, like man,
yes,
listen.
Bro. Urban Meyer, Dan Mullen, bro. They were stacked. Bro. That Cam story he told about Percy though, man, that shit made me happy though, like because Percy deserves so much more respect than he got,
that he deserves. He deserves way more respect. Does he have a ring?
No.
Percy won with Seattle.
Oh, he was on the Seattle.
Percy, and you know, yeah, he was in the first one, and the second one he wasn't there. So the thing with Percy, and this is the last I really got. He was remember the whole Golden Tate situation. You remember why Golden Tate became like hated? So Golden Tate was at the time the top dog receiver for Seattle in that year. It was Golden Tate, Doug Baldwin, Percy Harvin, Sidney Rice at the time with Russell Wilson, young Russell Wilson, second year player. So, and that when Beast Mode was doing Beast Mode things. So Golden Tate was like the locker room leader, and Doug Baldwin and Percy was 2 and 3 because Sidney Rice kept getting hurt. So Golden Tate said something in an interview during Super Bowl week, and they was asking him, is Percy Harvin going to play? Golden Tate said, I mean, if he play, it don't matter because we got here without him. Percy took offense to it. And this is when Percy was getting diagnosed with the anxiety disorder, and he was always on 10. And he told this story on Untold Stories with Master Test. Definitely watch. That was a good episode. That's when he admitted he was high every game. Funniest shit ever.
Yeah, right.
Percy asked him nigga straight up, did you say that? And why did you say that? Golden Tate gave him the energy like he didn't give a fuck. Percy rotting him. It's the funniest shit ever, bro. Bro, if you go look at the Seattle team photo, nobody is smiling in that photo for that particular part. He said ownership had to come down to the locker room and separate the situation. And that Golden Tate had a black eye. If you notice in that game, Golden Tate had a black eye. And it was from the Percy Harvin situation. Percy Harvin points him in his face, bro. That shit, mind you, that shit is 9 years ago. That shit is of legend. That's some legendary shit. Then for you to be hurt, bro, and for him to come back in that game after being injured and return the second half kickoff in that blowout, Percy, man.
Percy a dog.
Percy was different, man. Percy.
I wish he'd had more success in Buffalo, though.
Like real deal. Why? He was going to be a better like Dante Hall, but he couldn't stay healthy, bro. That's all. He was going to be a better Dante Hall, return specialist, and do what he can as a wide receiver. Well, he was mostly going to be like a return specialist, and he was like a joystick as well. But
man, Percy Harvin was what Tavon Austin was supposed to be. What was like the second, not even the second coming of Devin Hester. Him and Devin Hester was the same person, but Percy was better.
Percy was more compared to Dante Hall than anyone. He was heavily compared to Dante Hall.
Man, look, Cam Newton and Fred Taylor both said Percy Harvin the greatest collegiate player to ever play football. And they argued, and I think I agree with it, there's no Tim Tebow without Percy Harvin.
Absolutely.
College no Percy Harvin. I don't know about that one. You can argue that.
Bro. Nah, without Percy, Tim
Tebow would have still been okay. Like he'd have been like Kyle Trask, but he wouldn't have been Tebow without Percy, bro. That I believe that. I'm with that all the way.
Percy made magic when it came to Tim Tebow. Because Tim Tebow, like I said, he was Duck Dodgers. He wasn't the one that can really stretch the field. Percy Harvin made it so that he can stretch that field. Where it's like Percy Harvin's 20 yards down the field by himself. You have no choice to throw that ball. And you better connect.
Even if this get in the vicinity, though, for dude to get
bro,
to it.
Bro, you just called that man Duck Dodgers.
Yeah. To this day, he's still Duck Dodgers with that retarded ass windup. He was still like a mediocre quarterback.
He just retired from baseball, too.
Yeah, he's just staying to analytics now on the SEC network. Thank God. I love his Mets career is finally over, man.
Baseball. His baseball career wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay, but I mean, he just needed
it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't Jordan bad. Jordan was bad in baseball.
I think it's a thing in just general, and you know, Cam did kind of touch on that in the podcast. It's like he said it's his homeboy that he grew up with Dude was a football player, got told he couldn't play football no more, got a master's degree, and still felt like he couldn't detach himself from sports. I just think once you've been an athlete at the highest level, it's hard to detach yourself, not from the media attention, but from the high level of competition. You can't detach yourself from that high level of competition once you can't make it anymore. And I think that's why Johnny Manziel keeps trying these football things. That's why Tim Tebow keep trying to stay relevant in the sports world in general. So, some people just can't let go, man. That's all. That's all that is.
Yeah. I think it's Tebow. I mean, Tebow wants to do this anyway. This is his career, bro. That's what he wants to do.
Yeah, I mean,
some who can't do teach. That's what they say. So,
yeah. Some people are
That's
better at talking about the game or coaching the game than playing. And that doesn't mean they stink playing. They're just way better on the sideline. Or
Romo is a great analyst, but the shit that he says on the field, the way he breaks down the game, I'll be looking like, why the fuck didn't you do that while you was at quarterback? Like,
it's easier when you're a coach.
It's easier to say it than to do it.
It's like us. When we're on the sideline, we can see all these plays and we be like, damn, he should have done this and this would have happened. Romo does it in real time because he's way smarter than us as far as knowing the game. So he's saying before they happen because it takes away the pressure of him having to play. He don't got to play. All he got to do is analyze. So therefore, he sees things that he wouldn't have saw on the field.
Right.
As most analysts, they see things that you wouldn't see when you're under center. But when you're like looking at it from the side, from the coach's cam, where you can see everything, Tony Romo's always been a high IQ player. Now he can see it from the side. So it's like, okay, I can see what's about to happen. He's always right. But it's hard to tell when you're on the field and you got the coach in your ear and you got a bunch of player chatter and you got the defense. The defense is switching it up on you as you're playing.
And you throw a pick in the end of the year to go 8-8 every year.
Huh?
And he throw a pick to lose the game and go 8-8 every year.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. You are so right, bro. And that's the point.
But I like to see that, the dedication of my man right here. Like, even though he's doing a pop, my man on the sticks in the gym getting his shit right. That's how I respect.
Yeah, bro. But I'm so focused. You wouldn't even tell unless you see me look up. Like, I'm so focused on the pop.
Nah, I see the sticks in your hand. That's how I knew. I was like, okay, my man grinding.
Bro, I multitask, bro. I've been a GOAT.
My bro grinding. I ain't mad at him.
We legends out here. We fought. We legends, man. We fought in our sleep. We know how this go, man.
Bro, listen, I'm retired.
I do the same thing, so I ain't even mad at it, man. Trust me, I just loaded up my damn self, man.
I'm retired from 2K. It's over.
Please.
What's pre next Tuesday?
Madden is on EA Play starting March 2nd, next Tuesday. So
it's lit. I've been playing 20 and I just have so many. One thing I hope they do for Madden next year is, as far as the franchise mode, like, I've been playing 20. I never really played 21. I played 20 still. And the thing I want more for 20, as far as like face of the franchise type shit, is give us more leeway as far as free agencies and trades. Like, we don't have like any option. Like, I will go through the face of the franchise and get drafted by the Dolphins, who really don't have much that year. And it's like, I should be able to make moves. There's free agents that you can pick up. Like, I think it was, is it 2K where you're allowed to go to the coach and say, hey, this is the guy I want you to get on the team?
I literally just
like, we don't even get that option.
Forward. I literally just did
that.
All forward.
Yeah. Like, I should be able to be like, okay, this free agent is coming up this year. Okay, I want y'all to focus on trying to get him here. Like, things like that you can integrate into franchise mode to make it more appealing to those that actually go. Like, you can go through everything in coach mode and you can go everything in owner mode, but as far as superstar, who supposedly in this era, the superstars get, I want to say favoritism, but their opinion matters more than anyone else on that team.
They have a voice.
They have more pull, yeah.
So it's like,
they definitely have more pull.
So you should be allowed in this franchise mode. You should be allowed to be like, oh, hey, listen, Deshaun Watson wants to trade. I think more storylines should happen. Like, if Deshaun Watson wants to trade, you can go to the owner and say, listen, we need to go get Deshaun Watson. Like, some shit like that, that'll make it more. It's too monetary. It's too fucking.
It's boring.
Too basic. It's too basic.
It's boring. For lack of a better term.
You need some complexity in it to make it a little bit better and more. So 2K is like, algorithm for like free agency stuff like that. It's very, very complex, which is probably why I don't like it too much because I don't understand it yet and I don't really care to learn it yet. But it's so complex trying to set those backloaded or front-loaded contracts that, you know, that's why
but
some others love it.
To learn that though.
Yeah, that's why it's fun for some people because it's so complex. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Complexity makes it worth it.
That front office feel. People like that more. Yeah. Some people like more than playing. Niggas want to run shit.
Yep.
No, I love that GM shit. Like I love that. And with 2K, you know, I learned more about the bird rights. I learned more about RFAs, shit like that, how those processes work. And that made it more fun for me to play GM mode on 2K. I enjoyed the hell out of it. And I wish that Madden would fall under the same concept to an extent. It don't have to mimic or replicate 2K, but gotta add more shit to it. Like it's really basic, really plain.
It needs some depth, and that's where people complain that, you know, oh, franchise mode gets no updates because there's no depth. That's all they're asking for is depth. You know what I'm saying? And if the depth was there, it'd be better.
They keep going around that shit. Like depth. Yeah. Add more to it. Add what you see on TV when you cut the TV on. What do you see? Add it. How hard is that? How hard is it?
Like I understand the licensings and shit like that and shit that you gotta pass through.
I mean, I get all that too, but go ahead,
I think they should do Cam Story as QB1 next year.
No, I was just saying they have ESPN and don't use it as far as like realism goes.
Yeah, like I want to, in between games, like how they do the Jonathan Coachman shit at halftime, they break down all the games. Like you have all of these, you got all of these ways of adding first take and first things first and undisputed and having
stuff like
it don't have to be pertaining to your game, but it could be just something that lets you like when ESPN.
It's a presentation feel that they don't have.
Like
when 2K5 came out.
Like I play offline, I want all Madden. I play offline, I want all that presentation, like that stuff that you see. Because otherwise it get boring. Everybody don't want to play MUT all day. Like some people want to play like franchise and stuff like that and do what they say on TV. Everybody
I just don't understand how they didn't take what ESPN 2K NFL 2K5 did. How at the end of every week they had what's his name? Chris Berman break down every game. They'll show one highlight. It could just a generic highlight, but they're showing a highlight of every game just to make it interesting. Like it's a lot that they got to do.
A couple months ago too, like it'll be some random highlight from a game, and they'll have the scores. He'll go all around the whole league of games that's coming. You know how the 1 o'clock game everybody be on, and he'll go all around the league. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep,
that shit made it interesting.
The 2-minute drill.
That shit is fun.
And that would be fun in like a league or something, you know? Like that would be fun. I don't know.
Yeah, it's only on the users to create their own kind of content and commit to it and not burn themselves out. You know, shout out to AGS. I believe they do that. Shout out to my boy OG, man. They do that, I believe. I might be wrong. But
he throws down the pod.
Yeah, so they do something similar to that. And, you know, that leads me to the 2-minute drill point. That leads me to the NBA, man. I actually made this my stream title the other day. I think it was when we hooped on Sunday. You know, how the hell is Damian Lillard not a starter?
Bro.
Who do you start him over?
Hashtag fan voting.
Luka
has a audience because, you know, Luka's from overseas. So he has fans over there that Dame doesn't have.
Yeah, so they break that down into fan voting, media votes, and I forgot what it was a tiebreaker that broke the thing, and fan voting was the breaker. I think it's player voting, media voting,
fan voting,
and then fan voting. And once the fans vote, that's where Dame got eclipsed by like I think a million.
Vote him with the media and player voting though.
Yeah, Dame beat him in player voting. Media's picked Luka. And the fans picked Luka.
I thought media picked Dame.
Okay, so I think then the players picked Luka there.
No, it was
Luka got 2 out of the 3. I know that.
Yeah, Luka got 2 because it was tied. Yeah.
Won the first 2, and then Luka only won fan voting. That's why I was confused.
Nah, so they go off of a system where I think player votes matter the most, and then media votes matter the second most, and then fan votes are the tiebreaker. Somebody posted the picture of it. I don't remember who. It might have been ESPN.
That's what I'm saying, and I remember Dame.
The player vote was 131. Dame won the media vote and
yeah, he won media.
He
and
won
player.
both.
Yeah.
The fan vote was 3.3 million though for Luka. He won about 500K. That's it. But Dame won. He had 131 player votes, 64 media votes, 2.8 million in fans. Luka had 58 players, 30 media, and 3.3 million fans. So how does 500,000 fans outweigh roughly 60 players?
The niggas who actually
and 30 media and 34 media people. Like I'm trying to understand that breakdown. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, Dame is hooping, but Dame's stats not better than Luka's.
Yeah, they are. Dame averaging 30. Dame averaging 38 and like 6.
He's averaging 29.8, 4.3, and 7.9, and Luka's averaging 28.8, 8.6, 9.2. So
the only stats
are better.
I mean, but the thing is, the NBA defines Luka as a backcourt player because he handles the ball so much. Luka's not a shooting guard or a point guard. He's a small forward. To put it like this, Luka is just like LeBron. That's why his numbers are like that. But they consider him in the backcourt because you're allowed to list players how you want. Luka was a small forward when he came to the league. Ben Simmons, small forward, power forward, realistically, but he plays point guard. Like that's the problem. Luka is a front court player who handles the ball well, which is why he has the numbers that he has. Dame is an actual backcourt player.
They got him listed as a point guard, so you gotta run him as such. They list Luka as a point guard.
That's kind of why it's trash, though. That's why I say that's kind of trash.
But it's been like that for the last how many years?
First off, Dallas is struggling, and Portland is actually staying consistent. Secondly, and that's with a better team, Dallas.
Yeah, but secondly, I don't blame. All-Star is a singularly stat-based.
Trae Young being a starter last year. Trae Young being a starter last year proved that point. So I do.
Bradley Beal was averaging 30 last year and didn't make it. Over who? Kemba Walker.
The fans care more about Trae Young's shooting ability without Kyrie being in the East versus Bradley Beal. That was last year's problem. Trae Young was a starter over Bradley Beal, and everybody was mad. Why did Bradley Beal not get started over Trae Young?
Like what?
Kyrie's back, so Kyrie's a starter again. Fan vote. It's the same thing. It's literally the same thing, different conference. It's the same exact thing, bro. It's the same way we always ask every year, why does Dame not make it? There's always going to be an influx of guards in the West that don't make it. It's always going to be that way. Yeah, there's way too many great guards in the West, and that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing for the NBA. But
how many times Book got snubbed? Like it happens. Like I said, my mindset on the All-Star game is who's got the better stats of the year. I don't care about what position he in. I mean, Kobe got in and they was what? Below 500.
Like 12 wins. They were like 12 wins.
You proving the point though.
Kobe was an All-Star.
That's the point though. Last year, Brad had better numbers.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why
I agree. Bradley Beal should have been a starter. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have, but that's just how they play it out. I go by statistically who's having the better season at this point. And
I wish
for
that
me,
the fan
Luka's
vote
having a better season than Dame right now.
Yeah, I feel you.
I can't complain Dallas versus Portland, but Luka versus Dame, Luka's having a better statistical year than Dame.
I agree with that.
Yeah, the team is better than Dallas, absolutely, but statistically, that's like, okay, I can't put Dame over Luka or Steph, only because that's what they list Luka as, point guard. Now, if he was a small forward, then it's like, okay, there's nobody that Dame shouldn't be under. But the fact that they list him as a point guard, which, okay, I agree, he should be a wing. Just like Ben Simmons, he should be a power forward, but they list him as a point guard. They listed LeBron as a point guard when he came into the league. So it's like it's just how they portray him as. And based on the statistics, I feel like Luka is the better player right now. It may not end that way. Absolutely. Dallas might not even make the playoffs the way it's looking. But just based on, for me, based on statistics, Luka should be the starter.
I wish it was that simple.
I wish it was too. I really do wish it was too.
I feel your point, and I absolutely agree with it, honestly, as far as the statistics point. I agree with you. I'm not knocking that at all because that is very much the truth. I think the problem is that why does the fan vote? It's what is the breakdown percentage of the voting in the All-Star game? This has been a consistent issue for years, kind of similar to how the Pro Bowl is over in the NFL. The biggest issue is what holds more weight. Why does the fan vote 50% of the All-Star votes and the media and the players are 25-25? I'm assuming it's how it is.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, if that's the case of how it is, that's why Luka got in. Because the 500,000 in the 50% of fan voting that counts gave him more of a boost than the 25% of 131 and the 25% of 64. You know what I'm saying? So if anything, just make it all 33s. It's three things. You know what I'm saying? Just make it.
They're not gonna do that because their integration of fans to make it feel like they're a part of the game and they can make or break the decision as far as who's an all-star. And that's where the money's coming from. Money's coming from the fans. So they're going to give the fans the higher percentage in voting to get someone in. That's like with Yao Ming. Yao Ming shouldn't have been an all-star that year, starting all-star center that year. But the fact that he has a whole country behind him,
he's going to
surpass somebody that's balling in the league right now.
Bro got a whole country behind him.
You got a whole country behind him. So it's like,
yeah, it's true.
They know that fan base, that money's going to keep coming because if Yao Ming's a starter, that means everybody in wherever country he's from, I don't want to make the wrong choice, but whatever country he's from, everybody's going to be watching him. Just like everybody's going to be watching Luka. So they know all that money and that revenue that's coming from overseas, they know they're going to bank off that. So they're like, fuck it, make him a starter.
That's very true.
Dame's going to be a playoff player. Let him be the starter. That's just how I interpret why the fan vote is so much higher than the media and the NBA itself, the players.
Yeah, hey, Tiger Woods hospitalized after he got
I just seen that. He had a car crash.
A rollover car crash. Oof. Yikes, praying up. He's always had back issues, man. So, this might respectfully, being realistic, this might be the end of his golfing career, depending on how.
Serena's done?
No, I think with tennis is one of those things where it's like saying Roger Federer is done too. You have your moments. I liken tennis to like playing Mario Tennis on 64, and I'm gonna tell you why. There's different types of courts in tennis. There's grass court, there's clay court, and there's one more. I can't think of the name of it right now.
Turf.
It's just turf. Yeah, turf, because it's hard. So the U.S. Open, I believe, is on grass. The Australian Open is on turf. The French Open is on clay.
The French Open is clay.
So you have 3 different Opens out of the 4 on all different types of turf. That's why when you win in those different scenarios and you win all 4 of the majors in tennis, you're regarded way higher than somebody who wins every now and then out of the tournaments. You know what I'm saying? It's just like every now and then. So it's like, all right, respectfully, I don't think Serena's done. I mean, you kind of can compare it to this LeBron thing. I mean, she's older. You know what I mean? She's going to lose her step. She's going to lose some power. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Like, So the U.S. Open since 1978 is on hard turf surface. It's not grass anymore. The Australian Open, the French Open, and Wimbledon are the other 3. The Australian Open is on hard as well. French is on clay. The Wimbledon is on grass. So there's that.
I mean, the reason why I brought it up because they're saying the female that she lost to, Osaka, is supposed to be the next phenom, next one up.
Naomi Osaka is next up. Definitely next up.
So they're saying that's more so of a passing of the torch type thing with that loss. So they're saying that, Serena may, if anything, have one more in her just to go out with a bang. I'm not saying she's done, like it's over for her, but you think that she's nearing towards retirement with that loss as a passing of the torch type thing. And, she got a family. She got every accolade. She's, to me, considerably the greatest athlete of all time. So it's like, okay, one more. It's like Tom getting another ring. Like, okay, it's another notch on the belt, but Do you really need it?
No.
Nah.
She's made plenty of money.
It'll just be this. I ain't done.
So let's look
like,
at it this way, right?
I want to go out strong with a win and call it a career, which is a hell of a career.
So Serena's last time being the number one tennis player in the entire world was April 24th, 2007 to May 14th, 2017. She has not been ranked the number one tennis player for women since. Naomi Osaka has done it twice. And the current one is Ashley Barty, who is from Australia. Naomi Osaka is number 2. So they're going to be going back and forth for the next couple of years, probably.
Mm-hmm. It'd be like Serena and Sharapova.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we have the next set of next up women. Same way Sloane Stephens is out there like that. She's the next. She's black. And, like, Serena kind of passed the torch to her in a sense. So, I don't even think Sloane participated in the thing. So, like, Ashley Barty was 1, Simona Halep was 2, and Naomi was 3rd seed, and Serena was the 10th seed and made it to the semis and lost to Naomi. You know, I think Serena has 2 more in her potentially to get. I don't think she'll give up. Of course, sometimes you just don't know when to quit. You know? Like Rafael Nadal. Like Nadal should have been done. And he's not. Yeah. So it happens. You know, it does happens. But I don't know, man. I just think that Serena has her legacy set. I don't think that Serena can lose her legacy, in my opinion.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. She could lose the next 3 times and won't lose her legacy. But I'm just looking at it as, okay, the clock is ticking right now.
It's a passing of the torch.
Yeah. I mean, her dominant years are definitely behind her. She's not going to be as dominant, definitely not. But she's going to always make semis or above. And if she doesn't, we're going to always think, oh, it's an injury. It's an issue, something of some sort.
It's passing of the torch.
Right now, I would say Naomi's next up. And the fact that I believe ESPN or Bleacher Report said 2 legends leaving the court, and she was just like humble to be called a legend against Serena, it was just like, well, okay. Naomi Osaka's only 23 years old.
Mm-hmm.
She got a lot of career left to become that legend that people are saying she is. I mean,
I think it could happen. I'm not gonna say it will. It could happen.
Yeah, she can get there. That's what I would say. But that's the same way, like on the other side for the men, you know, like Novak Djokovic, man, like that dude is a fucking problem. Yeah, and the fact that an injury made people sleep on him, and the fact that he lost to Nadal in the French Open last year, like, bro, okay, Rafael Nadal still has his moments. Like, there's 4 tennis players that I think about when I think about men tennis. I think about Nadal, Federer, Djokovic, and Andy Murray. That's it. I don't think about nobody else. I don't know nobody else.
Nah, there's one. I gotta get the name. But yeah,
Arthur Ashe.
I'm talking about right now, damn it.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's my point. I don't know anybody else. I would have to resort to that.
You know, it's Black History Month, so let's shout out Arthur Ashe. Let's not do that, obviously, right? We're not ignoring Black History, people. Let's do that before y'all try to make this something it's not. Because, you know, people love to do that. I'm just thinking to myself, like, you know, it's hard to dictate when you need to give up tennis. That's what I think. It's hard to dictate when to give up tennis.
Oh, Gael Monfils. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, I see his name now.
Gael Monfils. He's like a top 3 male tennis player, black.
We say 5'3" male.
He's like a top 5, top 3 male tennis player.
Black. I'm like, damn, you.
Oh no.
Top. He's 5'3".
Nah, he gotta be at least 6'10". He gotta be 6'0".
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Nadal last won the French Open and he beat Djokovic in the finals. You know what I'm saying? In 2020. I mean, I don't know, man. It's tough, dude. It's tough to tell if Serena's like done and not gonna win ever again. But I mean, I think she got 2 in there, man. I think after her next 2, I think, you know, walking away is gonna be the hardest thing because now she has a daughter that's growing up and she has to consider her family life and her business ventures now. So that might play a factor into it.
I think she might have 1 more left, and then she's like, all right, cool. I'm done with this part of my life. Now to focus on this part.
Walking away from the game always the hardest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what got you far. Like,
But with how technology has advanced and how athletes are able to invest millions into healing their body, it just makes you wonder, like, how much longer can she go based off that?
Right.
So it is a question that begs asking, because you never know. The same way, people are sitting here wondering about LeBron. Like, bro, LeBron, 36 years old, he invests $1 million into his body yearly. Quote straight from him. He invests $1 million into his health every year, bro. So the way not saying we laughed, but the way sports media laughed at Tom Brady for saying, I'm going to play until 43, is the same way people probably laughing at LeBron for saying the same thing. But when you invest that much money into keeping your body fresh and ready to go, it's not impossible.
You can play as long as you want to.
It's not impossible. Cryotherapy wasn't as around in the 90s. Imagine if Jordan had cryotherapy in the 90s and never left.
Still would have retired and played baseball.
Not even the 90s. Imagine if Grant Hill had it. Penny Hardaway. I mean,
bruh. Brandon Roy. Don't get me started.
Brandon Roy,
man. I love Brandon Roy. Jesus Christ, man. So many times, man. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. It's not even on our list to talk about. Derrick Rose, 10 years ago when that injury happened, 9 years, but I'm going to say 10 because 10 years ago he won MVP. People have to remember, Derrick Rose been in the league for 13 years. This is 14th season. The NBA, you come in so young, you don't realize that when it's somebody's 14th season, you're like, how the fuck are you 14 years deep? You're thinking to yourself, how is somebody, you see what I'm saying? Like, people thinking, how are you 14 years deep, dog? Derrick Rose is 32 years old, has an MVP to his belt, 262-win seasons with Thibodeau. He's in his second stint with the Knicks, and he is fucking hooping. That 50-point game he had a couple years ago in Minnesota literally was the turning point in his career. Because I ain't gonna say all of us, most of us thought, you know what? Here's another guy who was very athletic and injuries robbed him in his career. This man was on the bench for the Pistons. The Pistons.
Worst team in the
league.
And
start turning up. Gets traded back to New York, an already guard-centric place that don't need no more guards or no more forwards. And he's turning up again. If anything, I'm proud of Derrick Rose, dude. I'm super proud of that guy because he just didn't give up. He is a shining example of what happened when you keep putting the work in, you got faith in yourself, and you just don't give up.
And yeah, he never got back to his MVP self, but he stayed consistent. Like, he's still a good player. That was my thing. Like, he was never
he didn't allow his fame and stature to get to a point where his ego surpassed him wanting to play ball. Like, he just wanted to hoop. So he just wanted to hoop.
Exactly, bro. He just wanted to hoop.
Bruh.
He could have easily been like, I'm an MVP, pay me. I'm not going to a team that Like,
he stayed. He had a lot of humility, man. He has a lot of humility, and he reminds me of Chauncey Billups in that respect. We still need
answers from him leaving the Knicks that week. We still need answers to that, but ultimately he had
to go handle some business back at home.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Yeah, he really reminds me of Chauncey Billups, and then Chauncey Billups ended his career, where he understood what he brings to the table, and he's not trying to bring more than that. He brings veteran wisdom. He brings an energy that can help a young team gel and do better. And he brings leadership. Like, bro, you've led a team to the conference finals. You've been an MVP. You've made $200 million off of an NBA contract itself.
I compare him more to Jason Kidd than Chauncey.
See, I want to say Chauncey right now because Chauncey was able to bounce from team to team and still have a very good impact. Jason Kidd wasn't bouncing. Same way. I mean, in a sense, but he wasn't bouncing from team to team. That's why I say that. Jason Kidd was kind of more stable in a sense, where once he left the Nets and got back to Dallas, he was Dallas the whole way. Like, he didn't go anywhere else. He was just Dallas, and got that ring with Dallas and then dipped for the money to the Knicks. That's why I didn't do that.
He was also on Phoenix. He got shot.
So I'm saying it in the sense like this, like, okay, Chauncey and Jason Kidd are kind of similar in their career path in that sense too, where they got shopped around. So, Kidd is drafted by Dallas, shipped to Phoenix, shipped back to the Nets, then back to Dallas, and then plays for the Knicks 1 year, then retires. Chauncey was drafted by, I think, Denver, then shipped out to, I can't remember. I gotta go look at it. But Chauncey went the same route. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with you on that.
The only
Chauncey
reason
was a Timberwolf twice, a Nugget like 3 times. Like, you know what I'm saying? Chauncey got drafted by the fucking Celtics, 3rd overall. Then went to the Raptors. And people forget about that because even I forgot. Went to the Nuggets for the year. Went to Minnesota. Detroit. You stayed everywhere for a year. Boston for a year. Toronto a year. Denver a year. Minnesota for 2 years. After the Malik Sealy death. You know what I'm saying? You go to Detroit and win a championship and get back-to-back finals. You leave Detroit because you got traded to Denver for AI. You played for the Knicks 1 year. You played for the Clippers and then the Pistons again. And now, you know, he's been looking to get into coaching the GM. He's an assistant coach on the Clippers. But it's just like Chauncey was always moving. The longest time he ever stayed somewhere was Detroit. Man,
yeah, but that was his whole entire career. More so than Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose had, you know,
I'm talking about later career Derrick Rose.
Yeah, later career. Yeah, you can compare it. That's the reason why I say more so Jason Kidd, because everywhere Jason Kidd went, he was a starter.
Yeah,
and it was kind of the same concept with Derrick Rose until the Timberwolves run, until I mean, he was a starter on the Knicks. He was a starter in Chicago. He was a starter. What else did Derrick Rose start?
He started in New York, Minnesota a couple times, Chicago, and he started for Detroit like a couple times, just a couple times, not a lot. That's it. Right. That's all place he's been.
And then I look at Derrick Rose's game too.
That Cleveland joint don't count for nobody.
Yeah, I don't.
Rose.
Yeah, I don't count that at all.
Random year Cleveland had when they had all these big name veterans that year. We just
I don't even claim Shaq on Cleveland. I don't claim Shaq on Boston. I don't claim Shaq on none of them little shop around teams.
The difference between
I claim him on Phoenix. That's it.
I like the D Rose Chauncey Billups one better because they were both being like traded over and over again, like outside
due to injury.
Prime.
Due to injury, like, that Chauncey Billups kept getting hurt.
I feel like Steve Nash was like he kept getting traded in his prime. That's why he was the starter everywhere he went. He was still good. I don't know why.
Yeah, that whole Phoenix ordeal was kind of crazy. But Steve Nash was the career link. That's why I link Steve Nash and Jason Kidd more, because Steve Nash and Kidd are the reason they swapped teams. So Kidd was in Phoenix, in Dallas, got shipped to Phoenix for that situation. Then that's why that happened. And
the reason why I compare him to, from an organizational standpoint, him being traded around, I can see it and understand. But I look at his gameplay. Like, remember, Derrick Rose wasn't a shooter at all coming in the league.
Yeah,
he had okay mid range, but it was all to the basket. So
true.
Now it's like, as he matured and as he went through the times he went through, he's a decent, if not sometimes lethal shooter. And that's how Jason Kidd was. Jason Kidd wasn't a shooter grown. As he progressed into his career and dealt with what he dealt with, I can't remember what injury Jason Kidd had, but coming from that, he started developing a shot. And then he became a big-time three-point shooter. And that just raises your value again, because at the end of the day, with Derrick Rose, if Derrick Rose didn't develop that jump shot, I don't think he gets the same... He don't get the same looks as he gets now, because the fact that he's still a very good playmaker, he can still attack the basket, and maybe not as elite as he was when he was in Chicago, but then now he's developed a jump shot. So now his value is not the same, but it's just as valuable as he was in 2011.
Yeah. With
a lot more time on his belt, a lot smarter. He's been through the issues he's been through, and that's why he's gotten better. Mentally, physically.
Not to cut you off in a bad way. So the Tiger Woods ordeal, multiple leg injuries and is currently in surgery. So a somewhat I can't really say positive update, but at least he's stable. And broken legs definitely are a minor thing. You know what I'm saying? That's the piece. And then we don't know if his kids were with him. We don't know the other details. So, like I said, prayers of Tiger Woods, man, because that's just not something you want anybody to deal with.
I gotta watch that doc. I heard that doc is good.
Yeah, I heard it too.
What, the
I
Tiger
haven't watched
Woods
it
one?
either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
very
watched
good, pretty good.
yeah, I've heard it was a very good one. So I might gotta put my time into
for the
that.
scrutiny, man. That's why I don't be watching these documentaries, man, because the scrutiny be ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely do. Speaking of the Timberwolves, though, they foul. They are foul. You know what? I don't even want to say they foul. If there's any organization in the NBA that is outright stupid, it's them.
Yeah.
It used to be Philly with the whole trust the process thing. And it's just like people don't learn that doesn't work. You can't keep hoarding top 5 picks of talent and think they're going to gel together. It just doesn't work.
You have to build.
You have to build it. Let me tell you what I mean, right? Let me sit up and get off the game for this. So they just fired Ryan Saunders, son of Flip Saunders, legendary Minnesota Timberwolves head coach. And they hired Chris something. I don't know what the hell his name is. I don't want to be wrong, though. Chris Finch from the Toronto Raptors bench. And the reason you fired Ryan Saunders is because you're 7-24.
Okay.
Now, mind you, you don't have Cat. Cat has had COVID, car accidents with a drunk driver. Cat hasn't been playing. Cat has not been playing. D'Lo is hurt and gone till after the All-Star break. So that leaves you with Anthony Edwards, Malik Beasley, Jarrett Culver, Ed Davis, Juan Hernan-Gomez, Jaden McDaniels, Josh Okogie, Naz Reid, Ricky Rubio, and Jared Vanderbilt. Only 2 of those names are big men.
And Naz Reid isn't even that good. So.
Like center big men. Well, 3 because Ed Davis, sorry. So you're playing with a bunch of young dudes who can't gel together. You've paid Malik Beasley a $60 million contract. Then you go draft Anthony Edwards. You draft day traded for Jarrett Culver with Phoenix just to draft Anthony Edwards the next year. So you're hoarding talent and not trading it. You know what I mean? Like there was so much more you could have traded to Golden State with the D'Lo deal. You took on Rubio after he was traded from Phoenix to OKC. I don't get why you did that. You're hoarding. When you look at the guards for Minnesota, bro, they're just like the Knicks. You have Rubio, D'Lo, Josh Okogie, Jarrett Culver, Malik Beasley. How the hell are you going to find playtime for all these guys? How? How?
Minnesota just needs a complete reset. Like you said, the problem is they keep trying to build through the draft, like holding on these draft picks, like players are just going to develop overnight. And then you fire your coaches. You never give your coaches a chance to develop the team.
They are the worst team in the NBA. You are literally 7-24. The closest team to you is the Houston Rockets by 4 games, and they played 2 less games.
Trying to figure it out.
It is cut Boogie Cousins, which I still don't. Yeah, that baffles me too. But we ain't talk about that. I just want to understand what the hell is Minnesota doing? The same person who did all this stuff is the same GM. They signed a new GM, so it's not like
just answer.
This is a new GM situation. It's the same GM. Same.
Yeah,
guy.
I mean, the only thing I can bring up is they've tried the superstar thing with signing Jimmy Butler, and that didn't pan out, and they clashed with that. I guess they figure younger players are easily not manipulated, but can be easily taught a system, right? More so than getting a superstar who's someone like Jimmy Butler is set in his way. There's not much you can teach Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is there to do his job and punch out and go home. It's not here. I'm not here to mentor young guys. And that's probably a lot of the situation he got with him and Cat getting into it, because it's like, yo, I'm not here to
hold your hand,
be your mentor. I'm here to win. And if you can't hold your end of the bargain, then I need to go somewhere else. Like that's the. I won't say Jimmy Butler was a bad choice for them, but he wasn't the right choice for Minnesota. If he was going to go about this process of surrounding him with a bunch of young guys.
Yeah, especially looking at how Chicago definitely won that trade. Outside of Chris Dunn stinking, which I still can't believe happened, they literally.
Yo, Zach LaVine though, bro. Oh my gosh, I don't think nobody saw this coming.
If anything, bro, Minnesota lost the hell out of that trade
because they have nothing to show for it. Jimmy Butler is thriving elsewhere. Zach LaVine's thriving elsewhere. And y'all are still terrible, still picking tops this year.
And y'all could have had Lauri Markkanen, Cat, and Zach LaVine, and Wiggins. Y'all could have been defensive as hell. Oh my God, Jesus Christ, damn.
Hey, speaking of Zach LaVine, how about these Bulls about to make this push for this playoff spot? Even if it's the 8th seed, I'm happy. I'll take it though.
I mean, it's progress. It's progress. I'm not sitting there saying that Zach LaVine, I didn't think it would happen. I mean, he showed signs last year and the year before that. Like, he's really showing out now, but
he's been a bucket for the last 4 years. He's been a bucket.
Yeah, even in Minnesota, he was a bucket. Like I won't knock it. I mean, he's been a better shooter than anything this year.
Yeah, he's been spraying that shit. Yeah, like I want to say, he's an elite scorer now.
He literally can score from anywhere on that goddamn court.
At first, it was just going off athleticism, but now he slowed the game down. He takes smart shots. Like, he is a bucket. Like, I love that. Yeah. If we ever trade him, I'm super done.
And you know who I compare him to? Derrick Rose.
I don't
know what's even crazier, bro?
He's a way better shooter than D Rose was.
You know what's crazy though, bro?
Zach LaVine, he wasn't a shooter in the beginning. He became a better shooter.
He was a point guard. He was a point guard.
Zach LaVine is only 25 years old. He turns 26 in 2 weeks.
He's been getting buckets the last 4 years.
He turns 26 in 2 weeks.
Crazy. He's just now entering his prime, bro. You know, your prime like
he's 26. Averaging 25 a game with 1.5 steals, 4.8 rebounds, 4.8 assists. Shooting 45% from the field, 30% from three, 80 from the stripe.
38% from deep though. Like, that's good, bro. I don't know. We can build around him. Kobe White just had 22 and 10 last night. We beat Houston. So I don't know. We beat his team out here hooping.
Dude, Zach LaVine is a fucking problem. Well, and they got AFC, man. That's the crazy part about it.
I can have them beating Milwaukee.
Sadly, they wouldn't. Okay, so if the playoffs ended today, speaking of that, I'm glad you said that. The Eastern Conference, Philly is 1, Brooklyn is 2. They have a game back. Milwaukee is 3, Indiana's 4, Toronto's 5, Boston is 6. The Knicks are 7 and the Bulls are 8. But you know they're doing like the little playoff play-in thing if the teams are too close. So Charlotte is 9 and Miami is 10. New York through Miami, they're all separated only by 1 game. So there'd be 2 play-in games to get to 7 and 8. So you would get Knicks versus Heat and Bulls versus Hornets, and the Heat only at 10 because Jimmy Butler was out half the season already.
Yeah, they're gonna start.
They're gonna spike up at some point. So currently standing, you know, you have to go Knicks versus Heat. Whoever wins that game plays the Nets, and then Bulls and Hornets. Whoever wins that game plays the Sixers. But Milwaukee would see Boston first round.
I like our chances.
Yeah, Milwaukee right now would see Boston in the first round.
Yeah, I like our
chances. I'm just not sold on Giannis, man.
Nope.
Until he buy a fucking jumper, I'm not neither.
He's a one-trick pony. One-trick pony. You got one thing. You shut that down.
Yeah, I don't, bro. Exactly. Like, all he got to do is extend his fucking arm and be Mike in Space Jam. That's all he has. Like, what more is he doing? What more does he do? You know, he played defense. Okay, cool. But on your offensive end,
play defense, or he's just a very good help defender.
And he's freaking huge with super long
so I say
he's an athletic Rudy Gobert on defense. He's an athletic Rudy Gobert on defense.
But you have to respect the fact that as an athletic defender, it makes you good simply because you're athletic. That's just like what Shaq said about Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert don't deserve $200 million. I'm never gonna argue that with anybody.
No, sir.
So the fact that he's an athletic 7'2" center is why he got $200 million. So it's kind of the same with Giannis.
But that's when people like us got to break the game down. Giannis clearly isn't a better. Like, Ben Simmons is a way better defender than Giannis.
Absolutely by far.
Because he's an on-ball defender. Giannis is an off-ball defender. Giannis is one that sees someone driving and comes pinning on the wall. That's his job. Exactly. He's not on-ball. Oh, I've seen Giannis on all different types of skates. On-ball defender.
I can't get mad. I can't knock James Harden and Steph Curry for being off-ball defenders and then praise Giannis. I can't do that.
Yeah, no, I praise Steph on ball and off ball defensive, but you know, I'm one of the very few that does that. Harden,
I don't. Me personally, I don't give him too much credit on ball. His on ball defense, his
love
IQ
his
as far as traffic.
his on ball is okay. It's not like he's like a top 30 fucking on ball defender. 30, like he's number 30.
Yeah, he's never guarding the best point guard on the floor. That I have reservations.
Yeah, so I'm with that. I'm all for that too. But I just think Giannis being athletic enough gives him an advantage defensively that others will not have. That's all. That's all I mean by that. I should have
like I look at Zion being a better on-ball defender. Like he guards and be on them.
He guards who the fuck ever.
Yeah, so
that
like
man,
Giannis
that young man's a problem, bro. And I'm mad the Pelicans are only the 11th seed. I'm so
mad he's so strong.
About that. Bro, did you see him? Bro, he was bullying. Whatever that last game they just played, they put it on ESPN, bro. He was bullying niggas. Like he makes grown men look like children.
No, seriously.
They played Boston. He made Jason Tatum cry like it was no bro. Jason Tatum was bitching the whole time. He could not, bro, bully.
Now going back to Minnesota, that dunk. That Anthony Edwards dunk?
Bro, you know what? We might got to put that shit on the pod for people to actually see what the fuck.
And I thought Blake dunking on what was white boy from
Timothy Mozgov.
I thought that was bad because he threw that in. He actually connected that dunk.
Yo, Anthony Edwards
wasn't a throw in.
Above the rim with it. That's my piece.
Bro, this dunk
down a little bit.
This dunk was nuts, bro. I'm putting this shit on the screen on wax to be seen.
That's why I like the most. It was a baseline dunk. Like it was hard, bro. He took the baseline and went upstairs, bro. Like crazy.
The thing I love about athleticism is like once a force hits you in the air, you go higher.
Yes, it's spring.
So the fact that he kept going up is just the nut part about watching this shit, bro. Like it sucked, but like he just, bruh.
I'm retired after that.
That's why I say, like, I'm like, yo, you don't do people like that, bro. And then follow him. You don't do people like that.
I take my check and go home. Like, all right, don't worry about it. This is
I ain't gonna lie.
Anyway. I'm out.
That guy though, Anthony Edwards, he gonna be serious in a couple of years, bro. I can see his game. Like you can see his game.
I was saying it.
He's still learning.
Him to go number
you can
one.
See his game though.
He's definitely gonna be. I don't know if he's gonna be a bucket for Minnesota, but he's definitely gonna be a bucket somewhere.
Nobody
utilize him the right way.
Like that good. Like honestly, Carson Towns don't get enough praise for how good he is offensively. He's just that good. Like he's a bucket in Minnesota. I don't know if anybody can like.
Yeah, and I'm gonna touch on the Minnesota piece again in just a second, because I want to go back to the conferences and talking about the conferences a little bit.
I just feel like big men, like looking at the big men in this current state, like Embiid. Like I watched Embiid play. Who did he play recently when he dropped it?
Chicago.
So it's like looking at his play, the way he dominates the paint. Yeah, it's okay that you have a jump shot. Yeah, okay, you want to rely on a situation where you can't get to the rim. But a lot of these bigs are so trying to be so stylish and be shooters. When the paint, you can dominate the paint so easily. Like 35 of his points was in the paint. He was 16 to 18 from the from the free throw line?
Yeah, but you got to remember
you can get that every night. Easily.
But you got to remember though, Left. Like these players, they're trying to extend their careers now, bro. They're not trying to bang bodies all game, bro. Like they're trying to.
I mean, the thing about Embiid was that's always been his game, though. He's always been able to score from wherever, even at Kansas. It's not like he's just now adding this. He was able to shoot as a 20-year-old at Kansas, so this is not new to him like it is most other people. Like Cat was adding his shooting to his game leaving Kentucky. Whereas Embiid was shooting at Kansas. Cat didn't start learning to extend his range until he got to Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. I give you that argument with Cat, but Embiid is like that different threat who was always able to do it. Like Porzingis is supposed to be what Embiid is. That's the thing.
I get it. And I understand that. I completely agree. But my thing is when you focus more on the shooting and less on it, I get extending your career, but you want to get the most that you can get out of now. Yeah, okay. 9 years down the line, you want to be like, oh, okay, listen, I want to make this to at least 15, so let me start pulling myself out the box. I get it, but as dominant as you are in the paint, that should be your primary focus. That's just in my opinion. I could be wrong, but in my opinion, I feel like if you're that dominant in the box, that should be your focus.
I think the problem is that Ben Simmons not being able to shoot hinders that what you want.
And then B, yes, Cat, I don't. They can't shoot over there either, I guess.
Yeah, no, but I agree with your sentiment. The problem is just that if Ben Simmons was able to shoot like Embiid was, then you solve that problem, because now you're not going to see massive double teams at the top of the key. You're not going to see double teams in the paint. You're literally, you have a teammate who can, make it easier for you. And that's what Embiid doesn't have yet. And I think that's the biggest difference on why he's still in any system, and especially under a Doc Rivers system, is being used in the way he's being used. I don't remember the last time Doc had a dominant big man was KG. KG is in his range a little bit, but he wasn't like Embiid. But KG would just get you a bucket mid-range or down low. He just did that. That's his KG.
Embiid probably like the top 3 most talented center I've ever seen, bro. Like most
in terms of talent.
Not most athletic, I bet shooting. I'm talking all around game. Embiid got everything.
Yeah. For
sure.
And
he's lead at it too. Like he be making some shots. I'm like, yo, that's a really good polished shot. Why tell you about that sideways thing? That's a really good polished shot. You can't even argue with him. His mid-range is crazy. He can hit the 3-ball at a good rate. We already know, like Left already reiterated what he can do in the paint. You got to think, like, how many big men are more talented than Embiid, like, of all time?
The only person that you name would be Anthony Davis, and Shaq's names come up as more dominant in the paint. Shaq name gonna always come up because it's Shaq. It's just gonna come up.
Oh,
we watch Shaq play,
But even Shaq said, yo, Embiid is way more talented than I was. And that's Shaq's problem. Shaq want him in the paint, like Left said. Like, Shaq want him in the paint. He said Embiid is way more talented than I was. He need to get in that paint and he can give you 30 or 15 or 15 in the paint.
Easily. And like I said, I don't want to hinder nobody's game, but it's just so when you have that lack of shooting and the ability to have Ben Simmons be the playmaker that he is and keep him out the paint. Yeah, granted, he's not going to get the numbers that he get, but as dominant as Embiid can be in the paint, name another big that can bounce with him in the paint.
Nobody.
In the league, period.
Right now,
there's nobody can go boxes with him.
Gobert. He punishes
Cat.
Him and Carter Towns be going at it though. They be going.
So I think the thing too, and this kind of came up because of the whole Donovan Mitchell issue with Shaq. The old guard doesn't consider how the new guard plays. The same way Kareem was able to skyhook everything, while Shaq was able to just dominate and force shit like Dwight Howard was. That's why people said Dwight was the second coming of Shaq, because he was always able to just bully, dunk. So Dwight and Shaq were kind of one and the same. There was no... Shaq could have had a post fade early on in his career, but as he got bigger and stronger, he let go of that shit and understood, you can't stop me down here. And he gave that up.
He had a little funky
I think that's what
he tried to bring out.
Yeah, and that's what I think he's saying.
He had that little hook he had.
But he had that in Orlando. Shaq in Orlando had a toolkit like Embiid does now, and that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. So, like, once Shaq understood that he didn't need a toolkit anymore and he just needed to be dominant, his mindset is now that of, be dominant. Just be dominant. And that's why he says what he says.
That's how I feel, like, be dominant.
And that's why Lev is saying what he's saying, because we watched the era of Shaq being a dominant big and seeing Dwight Howard take that same model and being Dwight Howard carried a fucking team to the finals. Albeit he had shooters, but he carried them.
And beat LeBron.
And they did it right, though. They surrounded him with shooters. Let you be the dominant one in the paint and surround him with shooters.
Exactly. So you have your models of consistency. And, to be fair, Doc Rivers coached Dwight Howard early on in his career before he went to Boston. So the fact of the matter is, Shaq is not wrong for saying big men should be able to be dominant in the paint and dominate the paint. He's not wrong for that. I don't know if Embiid does weight training or tries to get bigger, but he keeps the same exact frame. It doesn't seem like he's ever gotten stronger. So
and still dominates the paint. And that's the shit that is crazy. It's like, yeah, okay, it's scary. Okay, you got a jump shot.
It's
I get
very
it.
scary,
Yeah,
bro.
absolutely. Use it when you need it. But your main focus should be within that box. And you should be, as you should, dominate that box. Giannis can't hold you in that box.
Nope.
DeAndre Jordan can't hold you in that box.
Nope.
Nobody in the East can hold you in that box. Anthony Davis can't hold you in that box.
There's no big in the NBA that can hold him in that box. That it didn't even. You ain't gotta give names. No, Embiid is the best big man in the NBA. Boogie Cousins would have had the best chance, but he tore his Achilles. He would have had the best chance, in my opinion.
About Embiid is ever since that very first injury when he first got to the league, he's been staying healthy.
I mean, he's on restriction about the games. Load management is a thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kawhi. But
Shout out.
I agree.
One of these days, we're gonna break down Kawhi.
But let's Robin wait next week for like 10 years.
Yeah,
next week
we're gonna break down Kawhi
next week.
It's a lot of praise and not a lot of product. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I mean, he hooping right now though.
Yeah, right now. Right now, yeah. But we're gonna speak on it.
Like I said, we'll do that next week. We'll make note to do that next week. I mean, I just think that as far as the big men in the NBA go, I mean, Cat could be more dominant if he got more stronger and he kept his focus where it belongs. But he tries to do too much and doesn't use his teammates. That's why they went and got D'Lo for him, because that's his best fucking friend. That's why you keep hearing the rumor of, Devin Booker, if Phoenix doesn't do this, Phoenix don't do that, Devin Booker's going to end up getting traded for all those pieces from Minnesota, which is kind of why Minnesota is stockpiling like that. They anticipate that Phoenix is going to want to trade Devin Booker to be happy, not to give them what they want. So I get Minnesota's ideal and why, because if you send Anthony Edwards, Jared Culver, 2 first-round picks and 22 and 24, because you can't do back-to-back with just 10 stipend, then I get it. I get the mindset. I get thinking that way, but you shouldn't think that way in basketball because it doesn't always work in your favor, Gotcha. And speaking on the Western Conference and the Suns, like looking at it, Utah is the NBA's best kept secret right now. I'm not gonna argue that. Like, bruh, these men won 18 straight, and they're number 1 in the West right now. And they don't even have all their pieces. I'm still trying to understand how the hell are they number 1. But then I look at the Clippers sitting Kawhi and PG. AD is hurt for 3 more weeks. Phoenix just can't get it. Phoenix chokes. Wait, that's not the only fucking knock about my goddamn Suns, but they choke. How the hell did they choke that game to James Harden? Only James Harden. I'm still mad about that. Those are the top 4 teams.
That with a lot of games. Yeah, I mean, with Dallas, with this whole Texas situation, you got a lot of games they didn't play, so their record doesn't necessarily reflect. They didn't have Porzingis in the beginning of the year. They didn't have Porzingis in the beginning of the year.
But they're trying to trade him.
Apparently, they did it. That rumor. Apparently, Mark Cuban said that they're not trading.
Bro, that's the same thing that Danny Ainge would do, and then Danny Ainge would ship a nigga out.
And all of a sudden, it's a 3-team deal, and
yeah. And I'm just like,
random team you ain't know about popped in. Like, what?
Porzingis got hurt that one time, bro, and he been hurt ever since. He is not healed, bro. He's not healed, man.
Is he too? Is it because he's too tall? Is it because he's a 7-footer? His knees keep bothering him.
That's
one. He tore his yeah.
That's one.
He tore the ACL. He never healed it properly, probably, and came back from it correctly. So there's that.
I mean, he had plenty of time because he tore his shit on the Knicks. He decided not to play, and then they wound up trading. So
yeah, but people always come back before they're ready. So that's why I say that. When he did show up in Dallas and he played a couple for that last bit of that season, he got traded. Just sit the whole season out. KD tore his shit in the finals, sat an entire season, came back dominant as fuck. Why couldn't Porzingis do that? That's why.
The injury still happened though. It's still gonna happen. KD's hurt right now, so it's like it happens.
Yeah,
I mean, I just don't think Dallas made the. Josh Richardson is good, but it's
not translating to what he was supposed to be, bro. He was supposed to be I don't know, their team. How did they fall off? They were supposed to be better this year. I don't know.
So the lack of scoring, number 1, because you got rid of your scorers, and you didn't keep any depth. Like, okay, so when you look at it, you got rid of Seth Curry. You brought in Jay Rich, who can't score. Seth Curry's a shooter. You banked on Trey Burke having that little flash finally, and it's not working out for you. Porzingis is hurt and not spreading the floor like you want. So when you look at their lineups, their main lineups that are supposed to happen, you're looking at Trey Burke, Luka Doncic, Tim Hardaway, Dorian Finney-Smith more often than not because KP's hurt, and either some form of Dwight Powell or Willie Cauley-Stein. Maxey. But Maxey can shoot. So it's a issue of you got rid of a shooter for a defender, and your defense is still bad. So it didn't work.
Because they don't have no defense in the paint. Their big men are not.
Yeah, their best big man defender is Willie Cauley-Stein.
Good enough. They're not good enough in the front court. They're just not good. And it's like you don't have the pieces to move to get somebody. Like, let's say, for instance, they get Boogie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a slight turnaround in the right direction because they have a better defender in the paint who can also score on his own. Like, he doesn't need a pick and roll situation. He doesn't need putbacks. Like, you can put the ball in his hand and Boogie will get a bucket. So I think that's the type of player they need in the front court. Yeah, KP, you keep KP out in the wing and let him shoot, cool. But you have no presence in the paint whatsoever. Willie Cauley-Stein is not an offensive presence. Maxey can shoot, but is not consistent. And
Boban is just fucking tall as hell and gonna dunk on whoever.
Yeah, and Powell
he's not dominant.
Yeah, Powell's just there. Like he's
athletic. That's it.
He's just there. But they don't have. You're absolutely right. They don't have the depth, and they really don't have the intricate pieces to move to get somebody to better their situation. But I think with Boogie, when it's all said and done, and he winds up being a free agent, I think they should go after him to give that dominant presence in the paint for both offensive and defensively. Because at this present time, you're going to get killed by Jokic. You're going to get killed by AD. You're going to get killed by Gobert at this point, just because of the way you are defensively.
Yeah, whenever Dallas plays against a team that has a good big, I go against Dallas right now.
Yeah, they're going to get dominated in the paint. Losing the boards battle, you're just going to get dominated. Luka can do but so much.
And he's not a good defender. He makes up for it off, but he's not a good defender. So, yeah, they're in trouble, man. That's what they brought Jay Rich there for. But
I mean, one thing for Jay Rich was hurt. I mean, not hurt. He was on protocols for the majority of the beginning of the season. So I guess he's kind of starting to get into the flow of things. And he's shown progress to get better, but they still need more. He's not the answer for Dallas problems. It's not Josh Richardson.
Yeah, he would have been good off the bench, though, if you brought him, like, for that utility. Like, but they brought him to be too intricate of a piece, bro.
And Tim Hardaway Jr. is not consistent. He's
at all
by far the least consistent player that I've ever seen Dallas have.
Right.
We talking about you had Michael Finley, Josh Howard, all these guys you've had. Tim Hardaway is probably the least consistent player that y'all ever had.
Yeah, that's a very big fact. And
one night he'll give you a dub, and next night he'll give you like 6.
Or 0. He's
25 one game, and damn nigga, he's
Tony
negative
Snell
2.
is literally a meme, bro. That man really had zeros everywhere but the minute category. That's still fucking hilarious, bro.
Bro, Nick Batum did that too, bro. He 31 minutes, no stats.
Nick Batum used to be a really good defender, man. That's what I mean.
And nothing, bro.
That's what I mean by, like, sometimes, and I'm not saying we're not pro players, people. So before y'all, you will sit to the face. We analysts. That's what we do. There's just some time where you just have to understand, like, sometimes you just got to give it up, bro. It's over. Once Batum left the Blazers, I always thought his career was over. The minute that Blazers team broke up, I thought it was done for him.
I mean, he's been decent in the Clippers. He's been decent as a backup for Kawhi. I mean,
he was in Charlotte doing nothing.
No, yeah,
he was in Charlotte just taking Michael Jordan money.
I mean, Tony Parker was dead weight in Charlotte. Charlotte's just a dead weight team at this point.
Not anymore. They
just
turning
go
it around
there.
now.
Hey, listen,
Not anymore.
LaMelo's a motherfucking problem.
Okay.
Him
I
and,
mean,
look,
yeah.
him and Gordon Hayward, bro. Him and Gordon Hayward, bro.
Gordon
Listen.
Hayward is always hurt. Like, he hurt now. Like, he's always hurt. So it's like I can't even rely on Gordon Hayward for a 7-game series because you just don't stay healthy.
That's
and I
true.
don't see Charlotte beating anyone in a 7-game series right now.
Not this year, no.
Unless you get caught on a team where they're injury riddled and they don't really have nothing. This is what they got to come out and play with. And you got a shot. But I don't see them beating anyone.
I think LaMelo getting a 7-game experience in the playoffs would be good for him as a rookie, or in general, obviously for anybody. But I just think, it's up to the other teams in the East to slip up for that to happen. Will it happen? I don't know. Because we listed that top. I put it like this. If the Raptors make that trade and they trade Kyle Lowry, I think the Raptors fall down and out the playoffs. I'm just going to be honest. We already forgot about them in the past.
Talking about Kyle Lowry too.
So nobody knows. But the problem with that is they're thinking about taking Drummond from the Cavs. So the Cavs want a lot for Drummond because of his contract. To let that go and have that dead cap, they want a lot. And it's weird because Cleveland was riding hot at the beginning of the season. You remember everybody was on their coattails. Oh, Colin Sexton this, Colin Sexton that. Bro, they 14th in the East now. Now y'all not saying nothing.
I'm saying all these spark in the pan shits that niggas is talking about. Okay, cool. It looks fine out of the Knicks.
Cleveland was out here like 8-2. Cleveland was like 8-2 or some shit like that, or like very, very good early on in the season.
And lost 13 straight after that.
And they literally are just like, what are they doing right now? Like what is going on here?
I mean, hopefully they just buy out Drummond. I don't think you're going to get, because at the end of the day, you're getting
it's dead weight.
Somebody that's a good, he's a great rebounder. I mean, that's his highlight point in his career. He's a great rebounder.
He rebounds, bro. He rebounds, man. That's it. He don't do nothing else.
It's not much for me to be giving you an overhaul of players and picks with Andre Drummond. I don't. Even when he was in Detroit, when he was with what was the other bum he had? Not Greg Oden. What was the other one?
Where at?
When they was in Detroit.
Not Blake Griffin.
Nah. This is before Blake. It was Andre Drummond and it was what's his name? It was Greg
Maxfield.
Something. Nah.
Either way,
Greg Monroe. Greg Monroe.
There you go, Greg Monroe. Like even then,
Greg
Monroe was the better offensive player.
Yeah.
Andre Drummond was just a big man that could rebound. So it's like I don't see him getting multiple first-round picks or a bunch of overhaul of players for Andre Drummond. First of all, you got Andre Drummond as a dead deal anyway.
You probably get some good bench depth for him though. All jokes aside.
Yeah, like I didn't mean bro. The Cavs lost 10 straight. And they lost 10 straight. They lost 10 straight, and they played tonight versus the Hawks. So they were 10 and 11. They lost 10 straight.
Yeah, I don't see the likeliness of him getting shipped out for anything remotely than subsequent players. I don't see them getting anything major for Andre Drummond. I mean, you got Andre Drummond for nothing. So you expect to get something out of that? Like, nah, I don't see it. I think Andre Drummond gets bought out. There's talks about him going to Brooklyn, which could help them. I don't see why. There's not a lot of teams I can see though.
Brooklyn looks fine to me now, though. They look fine to me.
They still,
they're gelling together as
they just had to get it.
Yeah, they're gelling. They're gelling on offense, but the problem is literally going to be, when you have that big four on the court, let's just call it what it is, because they're going to consider DeAndre Jordan a part of it. Obviously your lineup and your death lineup there is Kyrie, Harden, Harris, KD, Jordan. It's the DeAndre Jordan's not a defender anymore, really, like he was in Los Angeles or Dallas. So KD can be a solid defender, but he can't be your primary defender. And
so you look at it like this. You look at a matchup, okay, what's supposed to be the inevitable finals, which is Lakers and Nets, right? So you match up their five versus their five. Who's stopping who?
Yeah. That is the piece right there.
This could be a high scoring ass game, man.
Because I mean,
Stop winning.
the Lakers.
I
the
don't
Lakers
know.
have.
See, now the thing,
It's funny because the Lakers have that same problem.
The Lakers defensively is
Bro,
a
but
lot
nobody
better.
has an answer for James Harden.
The Lakers have that. The Lakers have that same
problem.
problem though. The Lakers literally have that exact same problem. Like they lost last night after being up 17 because Montrezl Harrell is not a better defender than Marc Gasol. Sadly, so the Lakers gave up JaVale McGee for Marc Gasol. You lost deep. Marc Gasol is a defensive player of the year. In his own right, in his own past, he was a great defender. I'm not taking that away from him. But Montrezl Harrell signing was supposed to help bolster the offense, not the defense. Defensively, like the Lakers have that exact same problem. So if we get Lakers Nets in the finals, like bro, like it's just gonna be a matter of who play better defense. I'm gonna take the Lakers.
I've seen the Lakers provide better defense than I've seen Brooklyn do.
Exactly.
Brooklyn is going in the shootouts with Cleveland.
Come playoffs, he will. That's not even a question. Come playoffs, he'll be healthy.
Yeah, I sit him out for the month. Sit him out for a month. Let him get healthy. I mean, we good. I'm not saying we're gonna win without him, but we're good right now without him. Get healthy and look into the playoffs. We don't have to be a number 1 seed. We could be a 4th seed and still get to the finals. So if we lose a couple of games, just for you to get healthy and know that you're 100% leading into the playoffs, absolutely.
Braun don't need no first seed, bro. He don't need no first seed.
He was never Braun can single-handedly keep you in the playoffs.
I think people forget, like, he was only a first seed like maybe 3-4 times, actually. Let me not lie right there. But the fact is like the seeding is not what guarantees you make it to the finals. It's the teamwork, the play. Giannis and Derrick Rose are the two examples of this. Derrick Rose and the Bulls literally were the first seed like back-to-back years and got beat by Miami, who was a 2 seed. Giannis can be the number 1 seed all he want, bro. But until he get a jumper and until he can understand and make his teammates better, Milwaukee gonna always fail. It don't matter what they do. Nobody cares how great you are in the regular season, bro. You 0-0 when you walk in those playoff doors.
Yes, sir.
0-0. The only thing you earning was playing in front of your fans. Your fans don't help you win games. I mean, home court thing is a thing mentally, but it's mental. It's mental.
You're supposed to be able to overcome that.
Exactly.
That's the point.
Bro. We saw LeBron sweep the Hawks. We saw the Hawks win 62 games one year and get swept as a home court team. What? Like, come on, man.
I mean, the home don't matter. You got to win on the road. The only way you win a series is winning on the road, honestly.
Exactly. You have to win at least 2 games on the road. You have to at least win.
You're not going to go game 7 every series just to win at home if you're a home court team. But you got to win something on the road. So you're going to go against fans that don't like you or don't care for you. They care for their team. So it's like, if your mindset is I can only win at home, then you ain't never going to win anything. Because you go on the road and get dogged. Giannis, I mean, Milwaukee, the moves they made, I mean, they were cool. I like Drew Holiday defensively. Offensively, I mean, he can put up a bucket.
He's a better shot creator than Eric Bledsoe. You feel me?
Absolutely. Chris Middleton, for me, is like he just show up and show out and then disappear. Like, it's never consistent with Chris Middleton. I felt like they should have moved from him.
Man, if he could just get some defense and learn how to affect. My problem with Chris Middleton is him and DeMar DeRozan are the same fucking player. Chris Middleton can shoot better. And I hate that. They're the same fucking player. And that's why I can't stand. That's why I can't stand those combo forward combos. Him and DeMar DeRozan are literally the same player. Killer mid range, play okay defense. But when you need them to get a 3-pointer, they do not have it in the fucking. They don't have it in the clip for you, bro.
Like you got
Middleton's a better shooter though.
You got to hope that he's on one that game, dog.
Yeah, Middleton's a better shooter though. Don't get me wrong. But it's just like, bro, when he off, you dead. You're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to
do nothing when he's off.
On one. That's the problem. You have to rely way too. See, the problem with Milwaukee is not that Giannis can't shoot. Okay, the problem is his number 2 option. You have to rely way too heavily on him, and he's way too inconsistent to be like a number 2. That's my problem with Milwaukee. Like, because Braun couldn't shoot, or D Wade couldn't shoot, but shit, they scored the ball good enough to win. You know what I mean? They could shoot good enough to win. Like, when it comes to Milwaukee,
and they were able to defer to Chris Bosh when they needed to.
That's a wrap.
And that's
they
the thing
had
about
Mike
having that third
Miller,
person.
and they had James Jones, and
They
they
built
had
those teams
players
properly.
around them.
Yeah.
That were able
Exactly.
to knock down when they couldn't. And that's why I
Exactly.
like the trade for Drew. Don't get me wrong. Like the trade for Drew was great. Drew
That's a good trade,
Drew
yeah.
go get you a bucket when he needed.
Yeah.
But Drew just got there. Chris Middleton been there and isn't progressing. So it's like, yeah, man. I'm over that shit. I ain't gonna lie.
I wish they would have traded for Buddy Hield. They would trade Chris Middleton for Buddy Hield. I have better.
Buddy
Better.
needs to get out of
Just give
Sacramento,
Giannis
man.
a bunch of shooters, bro. At this point,
Buddy needs to
treat
get
him
out
like
of
Dwight.
Sacramento.
Let him be just like Dwight. Surround him with shooters. Let him dominate the paint. Let the paint be his because can't do nothing else. His jump shot is here and there. If it shows up, if it gets on the bus with him or not, I don't know. But
he may hit a 3-pointer or two.
That
maybe every other game.
And that's a wide open thing. It ain't even like
it's not like a playoff
contested shot.
Let me see that. You're not gonna hit one of those. No, you're not Steph Curry.
They're giving Giannis a lot of space, and if he make it, he make it. You live with that. But his main focus is the dominance in the paint. See, that's the difference I like between him and Joel Embiid. See, Joel Embiid has that option to take the shot, but he dominates the paint, and he dominates it in different ways. Giannis don't have but one way to dominate the paint.
That's slashing. That's like getting to the rack. He doesn't really have a post game. Like
it's slashing and the shimmy. The shimmy and the slashing is the only two things he got. He doesn't have the footwork to be as dominant in the paint as a Joel Embiid is.
Exactly.
And now that you're trying to develop a jump shot to try to balance out your game, and it's like, okay, that's not it. You should be figuring out more ways. Like I used to say about Dwight. Dwight only had a back down game. That's all he had. He had nothing else. You need to develop something else into that game to elevate your dominance in the paint. Don't try to go to, okay, well, I can do this and I can't go no further than this. So let me start.
That's why Tim Duncan was so dominant as the big fundamental, because he had everything in the toolbox in that paint and the post, no matter what it was. You couldn't guard Tim Duncan, because if he's been giving you a left shoulder fake all game and then going up with a right hook, he gonna give you that fake again and then fake this shit, go under you and go up with the left. Like Tim Duncan had a toolbox that made him well respected and well versed. And a lot of the post players in today's game don't have the toolbox. And that's where I agree with you about the Embiid thing. Embiid has a great like fade because he know how to shoot naturally. But if he opened the toolbox, and I ain't gonna say he got to work with Hakeem to get a toolbox. You work with any big man to get a toolbox. He needs
sufficient enough.
If he got a toolbox, bro, and like started using those fakes more to his advantage on the shots, he would sell so much more and be able to get so much more shit done. But he gets the ball so late in the shot clock, it's like, it's kind of fucking hard to just
exactly. All he gonna do, if he get the ball so late, he just gonna give you a post spin, give you one of these.
He has to make that move too fast. You know what I'm saying?
He gonna give you one of these to the boom, and then you're gonna feel that, and then he's gonna score. That's the thing. Like he's just not coached right, man. Well, now he is with Doc, but before this, he won't coach right. That's all it was.
Yeah, truthfully.
You talking about Embiid or are we talking about Giannis?
I'm talking about Embiid.
Oh, okay. Embiid. No, okay, I agree.
He wasn't coached right before Doc. Everybody know that. Like Brett Brown, that won't it, G.
Yeah. I mean, I just like I said, man. I think if Embiid, no matter what happens with Philly this season, they're in a good position because I like how they're constructed with their big three right now. Getting rid of Horford was great. Now it's time to get rid of Danny Green because he just is not it for you guys. He needs to go.
And them though, they brought him there for the 3-and-D just to help them out on the championship run. Like he's not gonna be there next year. You feel me?
Yeah,
like,
but
he's not there. Like
he's missing the three part of everything, which is why they got Seth Curry, which is why I respect them getting Seth Curry. And I also think that, whatever happens this season, this is the offseason where Embiid needs to get that post work right. Because if he can add an element to his game next year, I'm sorry. Like, bro,
elevation.
It's raps for whoever guard him, bro. It's like, bro,
what's funny is,
you already killed niggas. Imagine you having a toolkit.
He's already like, you can't guard him right now. He gonna fuck around the average 40.
I mean, bro.
I think Doc is going to go into the off season with Daryl Morey and say, listen,
call KG and get him with Embiid.
I'm gonna do this how I did the Orlando Magic. Like I'm moving Ben, get a bunch of shooters, and let Joel Embiid dominate the paint.
Yeah.
I'm not moving Ben though, man. I used to feel that way, but not no more, bro. Like, no, he's too essential on that team, dog.
He's
All right, so let me
he's
ask
the
this
He
then.
most
leads the league in
valuable.
3-point assists. Like he leads the league in 3 points assisted, 3-point shots.
Yeah,
assisted.
because
Okay,
he can't
so
shoot
let's
it.
ask this
That's why he
question.
lead the league.
So
Huh?
let's end it and ask this question. Let's end the pod on this question right here, then, right? And I'm asking you first, G, and then Left, because Left already said trade, so I know Left is going to come with an answer somehow, some way prepared. If you had to trade Ben Simmons for one backcourt player, just a backcourt player, it don't got to be it can be a backcourt player, you know, because we're gonna take it like the All-Star route. If you had to trade Ben for somebody to make Philly better, who is it?
Anybody?
Any one backcourt player that is like him, going to control the pace of the offense, get his guys open, also get a bucket, and also be able to score himself from outside the paint.
I already
Or you
got
traded
one
Ben
name in
Simmons
mind
for LeBron.
already.
But that's for
Already.
LeBron.
It has to be a backcourt player and the reason I'm using backcourt only for right now is because James Harden versus Ben Simmons was the biggest debate Daryl Morey and Doc Rivers had to make, and that's why Philly didn't get James Harden. So I'm asking, so who?
James Harden.
Left?
No question. I just thought about that. James Harden. Like, oh man, yeah, no questions. Him and Embiid, what? James Harden I give him his respect now. Like, I give him his respect. I wasn't a fan of the flopping. I'm not a fan of his game. But now I understand why he played the way he did. I get it now. And I'm okay with that. He was all they had. I get it. He was all they had consistently. Not all they had. So I get it. I'll take James Harden, him and Embiid, and a bunch of shooters like him and Embiid, Danny Green, I guess, whoever shooters. I guess James Harden to be a good fit. But I'm still gonna take Ben Simmons over Harden right now. On that,
well, no, I mean that's why the question is, if you had to, like you didn't have a choice. Your owner comes to you and says, "I need Ben Simmons gone." Who are you trading for?
Oh yeah, no questions. The best player to get for Embiid right now in Philly is James Harden. He's not the best point guard in the game right now. He's still behind LeBron, but I think that's about it. Maybe Kyrie said, "My nigga, you got it, bro. Just let me score."
You ready? You ready for my pick?
Yeah.
Dame.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. You read my motherfucking mind, bro. Thank you. Why?
Dame
thank you, bro.
Perfectly.
Damian Lillard is the answer to Philadelphia's problems. If Dame ever says he wants out of Portland, send me to Philly.
Bro,
that shit is over.
Hey, bro, listen.
That shit is over. Bro, that shit is over if this bro.
Dame, Embiid, and a bunch of shooters, they'll run the East.
Bro, I'm saying he's a pacemaker.
Imagine if Portland gave it up.
What?
If Portland just gave up Ben for Dame, CJ, and like some pick, bro, it's over, bro.
I don't think CJ. I wouldn't see them. It would be hard to get both of them out, but I wouldn't be mad if it was a Dame for Ben straight up. I wouldn't be mad at it,
bro.
I'm a little annoyed. And before we end it, I do want I'm kind of annoyed with Portland. Like, if it doesn't work this year, just blow that shit up.
It's over. It's over. You tried.
And I'm glad y'all mentioned that because I was the one saying like Portland had it right by getting Hassan Whiteside, and then Whiteside just
he was injury ridden throughout that season.
No, but that's true though. That's the right idea. Hassan Whiteside is the right piece.
Well, no, okay. So what I'm saying is the reason I'm saying Hassan Whiteside was good for them was because when you think about it, Dame needed a rebounder because Nurkic got hurt. You needed a big who could score at the rim off of offensive boards like Enes Kanter was doing, and it worked. But then it's like when Whiteside was playing for the Heat, he had a chip on his shoulder, and that's why he mentioned the whole improve my 2K rating, pay me my money, all that stuff. He had a chip on his shoulder when he was in Miami, and he felt disrespected. So when you feel disrespected, you want to prove somebody wrong and get their respect. Once he got traded, it's like that chip went away. And until he get that chip back, he's never going to be the answer for Portland. And that's why Portland is why it is. Like, it sucks they're like that, but that's what it is.
I could agree to that. Only thing, like I said, I knocked with Hassan Whiteside is that ever since he left Miami, he was always hurt. He was hurt for a significant time. It was never
It just
You
seems
never
like
got
when
a
you get
full
hurt,
season
in
Whiteside.
Portland, it's a wrap for you. You just get hurt in
They
Portland.
have
It's
a
over.
Portland's
terrible,
training
terrible.
system is terrible.
They have a terrible, like, shit. If I get hurt, I'm trying to go to Phoenix. If they make niggas, you last forever in Phoenix. I don't care.
Hey, look,
They got the
man.
Fountain
All I'm
Youth over
saying
there,
is, if Boogie Cousins want to goddamn run for a ring for real, come play with Chris Paul and Devin Booker, bro. I would love it. Him, because that way you can move 8 into the 4 and let him space out because he can shoot a little bit. But I don't
know about winning a ring, but yeah, I mean, I guess it'll work.
Semifinals at least. Hey, listen, bro.
Bro,
I'm on the up.
Bro, Phoenix making the playoffs is enough, bro. No bull. Like, they're making the playoffs.
Yeah. We ain't been in the playoffs in fucking 8 years, bro. 8.
But
One more than Tom Brady's fucking rings, bro. I understand my pain.
Dame in Philly worked.
Bro,
I like Dame, but I don't know.
I would kill to
see
that. Bro,
I Dame.
This is the thing, though. Dame has the IQ to not only take whatever shot he considers open, but he has the green light to do that shit. We talk about Dame all the time off the pod, G, and we talk about how like his willingness to just take the shot because he know he can make it is his biggest it factor. That's his X factor. Dame. Okay, let me ask y'all this: what the fuck is the difference between Dame and Steph Curry? What's the difference?
Dame and Steph?
Yeah, what's the difference between Dame and Steph, bro? They both got the green light. They both can hit from wherever. What's the difference?
Dame is more athletic. That's the only difference.
That's it.
Like Dame will attack the basket, dang on your ass. Dame
he's got a better paint. He got a better paint presence than
exactly.
Steph.
Yeah, Dame. Yeah, that's it.
That's
Steph Curry is a better shooter,
and Dame defends. Dame defends the best point guard on the court. Bro, I'm gonna always keep going back to that. Dame is gonna guard the best player on the court.
Listen, I ain't gonna lie, bro. If motherfuckers don't have Dame, I still argue that Dame is the best point guard in the league, bro. I really don't want to argue it, but I save it for next pod. I save it.
It's between him and Steph, best point guard in the league.
Like Kyrie's a great offensive player, but as far as like being a point guard go, I can't put Kyrie past Chris Paul.
Out of all three of them, the one I would want to watch
Paul
the most is Kyrie by far. Like Kyrie, he be doing.
I'm gonna put Chris Paul above all. That's just me.
Yeah, point guard is still point guard. You know, he's gonna get the respect. You know what I mean? That's just.
Oh yeah, Chris Paul gets the respect for life, bro. Like that's a given, dog.
Yeah, I'm not mad about that. I respect
every last one of those point guards we mentioned lacks something of the aspect of a point guard. Dame is probably the most complete point guard out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But all of them lack something. Steph don't guard the best player on the court. Kyrie, the defense is not average. It's a little above average. It's not great. Chris Paul he checks off everything on the list as a point guard. Just don't get the recognition of it because of all the other players that think they're superstars and think they're above him and don't want to run a system with him. And he gets a lot of flack for that, but I've never seen Chris Paul as really being the problem with any team he's been on. Does what he needs to do. It's always the subsequent superstar next to him that always got a problem with Chris Paul. Down from Blake Griffin, David West, James Harden. Like it's just always been an issue with him because he's a point guard that grew up in a system where the point guard runs the floor. You run what he runs and you dominate from there. And the fact that some guys be like, okay, I'm bigger than him. I'm the bigger star. Blake Griffin said, I'm the star of the club, not Chris Paul. So everything should go through me, not through you. And that's how that controversy happened. Same thing with James Harden. James Harden, I'm the star of this team. You're not the star. So I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to do what I do. But they clash there. So it's like Chris Paul to me is probably in the last 10 years outside of maybe Tony Parker was probably the best point guard.
Yeah.
The accolades don't show it, obviously. But to me, tangibles, he's the best point guard in the league.
The only thing that put TP over dude is over CP is Jet Bishop.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'll for sure say this. You know, and we're gonna make sure we talk about it now so we can say it next week for people. Next week, the main point we're probably hitting on will be the Kawhi Leonard issue because Left said he wouldn't talk about that, and I guess we can go for top 3 at each position outside of small forward. Is there any argument about who the top 3 small forwards are? Because I mean, okay, the only argument I can make
number 3, but Braun and KD are 1 and 2.
I don't think you can argue number 3. I don't think it's Giannis is 3.
You think it's Kawhi? Definitely. I mean, yeah.
What is Giannis listed as? Sometimes he's listed as small forward. Sometimes he's listed as
power forward.
Like,
thank you. And KD's the same way. KD's a power forward now. You know what I mean? That's why I'm. We'll do that.
You want to do forwards across the board? Then that's a different story.
I mean, we can do top 5 of each position.
Yeah, I mean, I think 5 is too stupid. Not to be saying like that.
I just think we need to establish who plays what position first before we go about who's top in each position. Because James Harden, what do you put him as, a point guard or 2 guard?
He's a shooting guard still, but he's playing point guard. I mean, it's obvious that he's the point guard on that team. That's what I'm saying. But he's still listed as a shooting guard. Like,
because even
let's
both
go
positions,
off what they're listed as. That's fair.
Yeah.
Go off
because in both positions with Harden, he's arguably top 5 in both positions. That's a point guard and that's a 2 guard.
Facts.
Yeah, he is.
No argument for real.
Mm-hmm. I'm down for it. We just got to figure out what we listed them as. I guess we'll list them as by this season, what they're listed as. We'll go by ranking from there.
Because if that's the case, and that's even if we go like all FanDuel, KD's a power forward. So he can't be, there is that. He's not that. So
that makes it hard because Giannis is a power forward. So it's like, okay, so you do AD, Giannis, and KD? Like, I mean, not in that order, but it's like, it seems weird.
I still list KD as a small forward. I don't think it's power forward.
I mean, they consider him a power forward. So the problem with that is they base him off of how the Nets lineup is. And that's why I mentioned that depth lineup for the Nets is Kyrie, Harden, Joe Harris, KD, Jordan. KD's a power forward, even when he wasn't a.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we'll see. Got some time to figure that out.
All right. Anybody got a positive note they want to lead us out on, man?
I gotta start writing these down. I be having them out. I just forget.
Yeah, I wrote one down because I had a situation happen to me this week that really reminded me about I called you about it.
Lay it on it, bro.
No expectations, no disappointments, man.
Classic.
At the end of the day, your energy is going to be a lot more protected when you remove expectations from things that are always disappoint you. If you know somebody is enabling your bad habits, you expect them to enable it. If you remove that expectation of the enabler, you'll no longer be disappointed that somebody's not a good friend to you. The same way somebody you enable, you expect them to get better when you tell them about themselves, but you also enabling it. So you always disappointing yourself because you enable that bullshit. So removing expectation, you remove disappointments, man. That's all I got.
Beautiful. Well put, man. Well put.
Yeah. Fucking 13 episodes, man.
Sometimes the loss of expectation also loses motivation too. That's a point.
That is a
great point. You ain't got to divulge into it, but that is a point. Losing expectation sometimes loses motivation.
And that's why you got to find a way to get it back. Because like I said, man, energy protection is everything. Once you lose that energy and that inner light to like have that motivation, like you said, you got to find a way to get it back. Because it's hard to get it back sometimes. Like,
yeah.
Can't lose that light, man. That's how I see it. 13 episodes, man. I love it. Yeah.
More to come.
It's beautiful.